threat multiplier. So perhaps, Jacqueline, you can explain to us what, let me just read out that sentence I found on the UN, on a UN website. Climate change is a, quote, threat multiplier, meaning it escalates social, political, and economic tensions in fragile and conflict-affected settings.
Yes, Olive, and it's really sad. I think that story about that mother dying, it's really sad. And also from Mama from Baringo, when she was talking about the food scarcity and the search for water, and yet, in our same societies, we have people who have plenty. And I think, as she highlights, it's just that disconnect between the haves and the have-nots. And so, as you rightly said, climate change is a threat multiplier in a sense that it affects all sectors. There is no one sector that is not impacted by climate change. And from the video that has just ended, we're looking at issues, food security, but you also think about, maternal health. Like, for instance, if I may just delve into issues, maternal health, and that's a health, the health sector. Like during disasters, whether drought or floods, you find that sexual reproductive health services are limited, if at all available. So you find that maternal health is impacted. Like my question running through my head is that, like, that mother who lost her life, did she give birth in a health facility or at home? And could there have also been, postnatal complications beyond the hunger, and such questions? So you find that women are impacted more because, like, when they seek health facilities, health services in terms of giving birth, they are limited. In the same area, when you look at now women, girls, issues of reproductive health, menstruation, you can imagine that when you lack the simple basic need of drinking water, how about your health, your physical health in terms of grooming during menstruation? Can you even get water to bathe and clean yourself? So, even the menstrual products like sanitary towels, are they available? And if you have little resources, the priority will be towards food, which is a basic need, as opposed to menstrual products like the sanitary towels. And so you find that in hardships, food and water will be prioritized in place of health, and diseases like malaria, which again are exacerbated by impacts of climate change when, mosquitoes thrive more. And even studies by the World Health Organization have pointed to the fact that heating, a lot of heat impacts on patterns of vector-borne diseases like malaria, as I've mentioned, but also excess heat can lead to stillbirths, So again, there, as well as low birth weights, where if the pregnancy is successful. So you can see that climate change really has a multifaceted impact. When you look at the energy sector, we are talking about the biomass, as our climate scientists indicated, and what are even the effects of this biomass on women. Like some types of wood are not even healthy. The fumes that come from some types of woods are not healthy for women, so causing some respiratory diseases and the like. So when you look at that in the agriculture sector, Right now, we are talking about drought. Of course, productivity has really gone down. Yet women again comprise a majority of the labor workforce in the agriculture sector. So it has affected their livelihoods, the food production in terms of food security, but also in terms of their daily earnings that can then improve on their lives. So you find that also their socioeconomic status goes down, irrespective of the fact that there's already globally, statistics showing that generally women are, are form the majority poor in the world. So if the sector within which they thrive more, which is the agriculture sector, is affected by impacts of climate change, it only escalates the gender inequalities in terms of the socioeconomic status. So only, in a nutshell, I would say, yes, the climate change cuts across all sectors, and statistics from these sectors again point to the fact that women are adversely affected. And just maybe to mention what Elijah had mentioned earlier, we are not saying that boys and men are not affected. Yes, they are affected, but we look at, who is more adversely affected, and therefore when we are proposing interventions, we target those interventions from an informed point of view that this population needs slightly more than this other population. Thank you.
All right.